there. Very ill zip. The room is spinning for me, so I'm spinning the ship for you. Got the flu right now. The Okhotnik, I think that's how you pronounce it. Let's get right into it because I'm feeling ill and just want to like dive right into this review here. So this ship is much anticipated. A lot of buzz built up, and what most people will tend to focus on is the torpedoes and the guns. So for guns, you've got 730mm guns on here with an 8-second reload. Not bad. That's a lot of fire. It's a lot of weight to throw at the enemy, which is just great. Good fire chance at 4%. Not great. Most destroyers are around 3% of this tier. So the turret traverse on the guns is very poor at 9.6 degrees. If you're turning and burning, avoiding fire, don't expect your guns to be in the right spot all the time. You have to turn the ship to help them. The big business end people got excited about when this ship was first announced are the 12 torpedo tubes, 4x3, 4 3-tube launchers. Good firing arcs, really wide towards the front and back. Really a solid layout for the torpedoes on the center line. Each torpedo is a little weak at 2,000 damage potential. I find 1,800, 16 to 1,800 is about average, but potentially you can do up to 24,000 damage on one salvo. It's very powerful at any tier. Well, sub tier 7. 30-second reload means that you can throw a lot of torpedo damage at people. Unfortunately, this is where the ship takes a turn for the worse. You've only got 3.74 kilometers range on torpedoes. That's very short. That's extremely short. And it means that the torpedoes are definitely not a primary, not even close. Oh, by the way, that 3.74 is with the camo. Comes with the camo right now, so everybody will have the camo and put the camo on, because otherwise it's 3.6 kilometers. So this is not a good situation for standard torpedo drivers who want to drive something familiar. This ship, because of the traverse, because of the short-range torpedoes, has to be played very carefully. She is difficult to carry in, and she's quite unique. So we'll talk about her uniqueness as we progress here. So first off, let's just cover the how I've configured the ship. I've spent some money trying different things here as well. I'll get into that. But the camo that comes with the ship right now gives you increase on the guns, increase on the torpedo range, which is critical. The traverse speed, which is also critical, because unhelped, the ship is very sluggish. Initially, I went with the advanced high explosive shell. It does not stack. It only brings your fire chance to 4.28%. I do not recommend this. I had to spend 200 gold in order to bring it back over to the advanced rudder system. I thought it was going to stack for some reason. I was wrong. So definitely go with the traverse speed. Once you've got that and the supply bonus and some equipment, the handling on the ship isn't so bad. The only thing really holding her back is the torpedo range and gun traverse. Gun traverse you can deal with by moving the ship. Torpedo range, there's not much you can do about that. You just have to compensate. Use torpedoes as a situational weapon. Man, I'm so sick. Anyway, yeah, so torpedoes are a situational weapon. Your guns are your primary. A lot of people talk about playing the ship like a cruiser. I would agree with that in the early part of the game. But throughout the entire game, if the opportunity seeks or presents, I should say, don't go seeking it. But if it presents and you see a distracted ship, by all means close into torpedo range and loose some torpedoes at them. I've got the speed boost on here. I was considering the traverse, but I found that with the one traverse in the middle here, I could go with speed, and the ship was still very handleable. So you do occasionally have to hit the reverse to make sharp returns, but that's okay. It's worth living for the extra little bit of speed to get out of harm's way. I considered the acceleration because she accelerates so poorly, but I went with the traverse here. And of course the 20% boost to traverse, because the guns are just so painfully slow. A lot of people want to go with the battery reload, but what good is it if your guns are reloaded if they're still not on target? So definitely I recommend the main battery traverse speed boost. I think it's the smart move. Now for supplies, I went with the camo. The ship already has pretty good base camo. With the camo applied, the historical camo that is, she's pretty stealthy, so that's good. Gets you a little bit closer with those torpedoes. Bring repair kits, you're going to need them. The ship takes damage easily. It's got no armor, and she's fairly long target, so if you're broadside, you're a pretty easy target. However, if you're nose on, you're actually pretty challenging. The turn time is 3.8 seconds, which is just a little bit more than some of the higher tier destroyers, so that's not bad at all once she's equipped and upgraded properly. Moving into some gameplay. This ship, as I said, she does not carry well. Well, in probably a better player's hands, she'd carry better, but I don't know. I'm no slouch, and I find that this ship requires an immense amount of concentration and thinking ahead, more so than any other ship I've played so far in the game. More than the battleships, more than any cruiser, more than any other destroyers. Even the Sims is a cakewalk compared to this ship if you want to rack up lots of damage. You have to pay lots of attention to where people are pointing their guns, what they're looking at, what they're shooting at. Are they distracted enough to close to torpedo range or not? So these are the considerations you have to keep in mind with this ship at all times. If you fail to do this, you will have a short game. A lot of people I've seen playing the game so far are running in, throwing off their torpedoes, killing one, maybe even two enemies in the salvo, and then dying themselves very quickly, which is not a good help to your team. Don't play the ship that way. Stay at range, use your guns, use your speed boost to dodge torpedoes when they're incoming, like right here. I'm going to turn with the torpedoes. Ordinarily, if I had enough time, I would have decelerated, but the ship does not decelerate very well, so I didn't have very much time. But turning in line with the torpedoes, I can kind of line up and use the skinniness of the ship to dodge torpedoes, although with the near exploding torpedoes we have in the game right now, that can be sometimes very dicey itself, so do be aware of that. There I go with the repair kits. I use a lot of repair kits in this ship, so she is not a very profitable ship. None of the ships are because of the economy, but doubly so with the Okhotnik. I think that's how you pronounce it again. I'm not quite sure, but she's not a money maker. If not for the fact I run premium time, there's a number of games that I would have finished in the negative for credits. So keep that in mind. If you don't have premium time, this ship can draw negative credit numbers if you're not careful. So do be aware of that. It may influence your decision to purchase the ship or not. Some people don't care about credits, they care more about experience. I don't understand that. What good is having all the experience in the world if you can't buy the ship? But anyway, moving on. Ouch. This ship is all about the guns. I'm doing the wrong things in this battle. This is one of my first few battles. I think probably my fourth battle, maybe even third battle. I did have the configuration that I have today on the ship by this point. So I did play some co-op battles to kind of get a feel for my loadout before I committed to any actual battles. It's not fair to my team, I think, to do otherwise. And so I'm pretty happy with her handling. I think I'm getting the most I can get from this ship at the time. I doubt very much she'd ever receive any buff or anything like that. She's a unique vessel because the slightest buff to anything, whether it be torpedo range, gun reload, gun traverse, she would be in danger of being overpowered. So I think this ship is actually balanced. As difficult as she is to play, it's going to be a controversial opinion, but I think she's balanced because it's such an odd duck that any attempt to make the ship on par with anything else will make her overpowered in the hands of average to above average players, to the point where it'll be win city. People will be running 90% win rates instead of 50-60% win rates for really good players. So I think she's fine as she is. It's the nature of the beast. This beast here is a collector's ship, or a ship for people who want a challenge. I do not recommend this ship for somebody looking for wins, looking for credits, looking for anything other than the unique playstyle. Do not buy this ship. Skip this ship. It's interesting, the ship coming so close after The Sims, which is also, actually, I really like The Sims now. She's one of my favorite ships. I'm above 60% win rate on her. She's a lovely ship once you get used to it, but she is a technically demanding ship. And both The Sims and the Okhotnik, both of them are not regarded super highly in the PC version of the game. And I'm wondering if Wargaming is kind of releasing them at the early stages here, so that way people will be more tempted to purchase them in order to, actually get sales on them. Because if they wait till other premium ships are released into the game, then people won't be tempted to buy them. They won't be all excited, hey, new premium ship, and I'll buy this. But, maybe I'm just being cynical. But you know what? If I ran the business, that's what I'd be doing. So I wouldn't be surprised if we wound up with, the Graf Zeppelin or some of the other much maligned ships from the PC version that wind up as premiums in the first little half of the year for us, just because they're going to be a lot easier to sell now rather than later once people have a number of good premium ships in their possession. So I'm all for that. The Blitz versions are not going to be the same as the PC versions, and they might be better balanced, and they might be a lot funner. I say bring them on, and I'll be happy to check them out and try them out. Here you can see a beautiful torpedo launch. That's just exactly what you want. That doesn't get more textbook than that. Using the island for cover initially, and then running away really fast, as fast as you can, presenting the smallest target to the red ships as you escape. That's textbook how to play the ship if you're going to use the torpedoes at all. Again, as I said, early game, use your guns. If anybody gets close, use your torpedoes. But in the late game, choose your opportunities, distracted enemies, moving close, use your torpedoes, and get some wins that way. I basically said everything there is to say about the ship already. I do enjoy the ship. Would I buy it again? If somehow she got deleted from my account, would I buy the ship again? You know what? I would. For me, it's like with tanks. I have so many premium tanks in World of Tanks Blitz. I'm only missing, I think, 7 of all the premium tanks. And the reason why I have so many tanks is just because after 40,000 plus battles, I think I'm around 42. I don't even know, 41,000, whatever. After over 40,000 battles, the game is kind of boring for me, because just been there, done that. But you know what? Every time I buy a new premium ship, I get excited, and I play the game a lot more. And that's really and I'm not bored with ships yet, but it's one of those things that having a lot of ships in the stable means that this is stupid of me here, but I pass through. I assure you, she does not phase through torpedoes that often. I think that was just a latency glitch or something like that. But hey, I'll take it. Got lucky there, and it's good to be lucky sometimes. But anyway, this ship, I would buy it again, because the unique playstyle means that if I'm bored with other ships, the same old, I can hop in here and I can swear and scream at the at my team and at the ship as a great stress reliever or stress inducer. And then when you get that win, you're like, and the stress relief comes from that tough to achieve win. So I like that. Ships that are easy to play are kind of boring after a while, just same old. And this ship will keep things interesting for you as you fight with it. So for people who like a challenge and collectors, get the ship. I would buy the ship a second time if somehow she got deleted. Is this ship for everybody? No. Don't buy the ship thinking she's another destroyer from anywhere else in the game. She is so unique in her playstyle that to this point I haven't played anything like her, or unlikely to see anything like her in the game again. So I would say that don't expect this ship to get buffed. Don't expect the ship to play like you're used to. If you're used to the American line, the Japanese line, she does not play like those ships. The torpedo range is just too short, but she is a lot of fun when you can make those torpedoes connect, like right here when you're popping out from behind an island. It's a great feeling. So she's a very rewarding ship, and I like rewarding ships. And the gunnery is accurate enough that you'll be more frustrated with your teams than your own gameplay if you master how to use the ship. Because again, she doesn't carry very well because she doesn't rack up the damage too fast because of the guns, especially against battleships shooting HE. Usually you roll about 167 as opposed to 400 on cruisers, light cruisers, and destroyers. So do keep that in mind. She does not light fires that well. 4% is not horrible, but it's not great either. So it's average for a destroyer, and I think it is part of the kit. Being able to start fires against battleships. I like to hold down the button and do a ripple fire effect. Boom, 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 boom. I find I can walk the shells into the superstructure on the battleship and get fires a little bit more often that way. So I highly recommend, if you buy the ship, to do the same when you're attacking larger vessels. Doing kamikaze style runs straight at the ships and turning at the last second and launching your torpedoes is just going to get you killed. Particularly once you make that turn, which you'll have to make that turn to actually get the torpedoes in the swimming towards the target. You'll find that you'll get hit a lot. So even here, I'm presenting a broadside, which I was very, very worried about. I knew I was going to get hit, but at full health, I'm chancing that I won't get taken out in one shot because of the distance and my speed overall with the speed boost. I was counting on that to give me some protection, and you can see there a little bit less than half my damage or half my hit points gone in that one salvo. So here I am turning and firing the torpedoes, and these torpedoes are fast enough at 60 knots that as long as you're within the window where they can catch up to the target, you will get some hits on the torpedoes. And you can see there 1700 damage, 1737, which is about the average I've noticed so far with them. So you can expect that, which means that you have a lot of damage potentially every 30 seconds. But because of the situational nature of the ship, I can't overemphasize this enough. Sorry to repeat. Maybe it's my fever that's getting to me here, repeating this once again, but I just don't want anybody to buy this ship and then regret buying it. She's a ship for people who are going to appreciate the unique quality, and if you're just looking for a wind machine or something fun, the kamikaze, if you can get a hold of a kamikaze, Marblehead's not as fun as this ship in my opinion, but Marblehead is a better carrier ship, carrying ship rather, not a carrier ship. Obviously she doesn't launch aircraft in this game, but she carries better than the ship because the torpedoes are actually usable. So I'm dropping things here. That's what that thump was. So I'm going to let you go. This battle was, of course, a loss here. A victory. I died because I wasn't playing very cautious. But at that point, the victory is pretty much secure. So it's okay to take a little bit more chances when that's the case. Although it was pretty tight anyway. So I'm full you know what. Anyway, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to get some sleep because I've got the fever. The flu fever, that is, not the gaming fever. So I'll touch back with you guys on the next review. I've got a whole bunch of projects in the works. So a lot of things up in the air right now, and splitting myself 8 different ways to cover it all means that not everything is getting done at a fast rate. So I wanted to push this review out as quickly as possible because people are waiting to buy the ship. They're waiting to hear what I have to say about it. So I've said my piece, and I'm going to let you go at that. Enjoy the rest of this game. This was a low damage win for me, but it was a very situational game, and it's a great example of how to play the ship and how to, I'm not going to say carry, but certainly pseudo carry. Make sure that as close to carry as the ship gets in this battle. Damage was a little bit on the low side, but certainly I feel that I helped secure the victory with my gameplay here. So do enjoy. Sorry for the rambly. 6-zip tends to go on here. This is my whole voiceover for this video was one long take because I don't plan on editing very much. I just want to get to bed. So my apologies if it's not up to my usual standards. Maybe it's better. Who knows? Leave a comment in the comments if you feel strongly about my commentary. I'm open always to suggestions and feedback. So feel free. Anyway, enjoy. I'm rambling way too much. Sorry, guys. Bye.
control. Destroyed an enemy ship.
Stick together.
Roger that. Attack my target.
Regroup.
Our team captured the area. Good job. Engine boost activated. Destroyed an enemy ship. Our team captured the area.
Nice move.
We hit the enemy. Our team is about to win.